If we follow this build right off the bat, Gambit can be the face of our party. Then later in Act 1, he becomes a better support with some great abilities of a bard, and in the later part of the game, a good ground controller. Hello guys, Genuine here of Genuine Gaming, and here is my Gambit build for Baldur's Gate 3. This is not an overpowered build, but a thematic one. Even though this is only a thematic build, you can play this build on Tactician difficulty. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to leave a like, and for more Baldur's Gate 3 videos, subscribe to the channel. Overview. Gambit, whose real name is Remy LeBeau, is a member of the X-Men who has a mutant ability that can convert potential energy stored in an inanimate object into pure light kinetic energy, which can make the item charge with explosive results. Although I cannot copy his abilities as is in Baldur's Gate 3, I just tried to make those abilities through spells and abilities in the game, and this is a result. First, there is no mutant in D&D, but we can say that Gambit is half-elf. With regards to the sub-race, we would choose the Wood Elf, as a cantrip we get in High Elf would be useless as it is intelligence-based. We would be a charisma-based character, as in the comics, he possesses a certain kind of charm which can be hypnotic sometimes. For lore purposes, we would say that his being charming flows from his elf blood. In combat, Gambit prefers to throw cards that are charged with kinetic energy. When it comes to close combat, he prefers to use his bow staff. With regards to his fighting style, we can achieve it by going to the Warlock class. Warlock's Eldritch Blast can be Gambit's kinetic charged cards thrown at his enemies, and by going for the Pack of the Blade, we can make good at wielding a staff. We are not going for a pure Warlock class, as Gambit was also a bit roguish as he was a member of a Thieves Guild. But we have a problem when we go for the Rogue class. We cannot use its sneak attack ability. Eldritch Blast and his staff cannot apply sneak attack, making the Rogue class useless for us. The closest that I can get is by being a bard. They are the closest we can get to a roguish type of class. Let's say that these spells are the different kinds of ways Gambit can manipulate his mutant abilities to help allies or destroy enemies. This is on Tactician difficulty, and you do not need to ever respect this build. That is why this is ideal for role-playing. Gear and equipment. Gambit is the face and support of our party. He can also do some crowd controls in case our party would need it. Lore-friendly equipment for Gambits are those that apply reverberation to his enemies, as the reverberation status can give a good debuff to your enemies. You can keep watch of these items as they can apply reverberation to your enemies. Boots of Stormy Clamor, which is sold by Omeluwum in the Myconid colony. After completing help Omeluwum investigate the parasite. Gloves of Belligerent Skies, which can be found inside a locked chest inside the Inquisitor's chamber of Kresh Ilek. This is one more item that can apply reverberation, but it is quite hard to get as you would have to kill a mimic in the Moonrise Tower with one shot, or else that item will be destroyed. For the staff, just choose the best staff you can find. In Act 1, I suggest using the Spell Sparkler, which is a quest reward for the Rescue the Grand Duke in Woken's Rest build. So as mentioned, we go for the Elf race with Wood Elf subclass. For our first level, we are going for the Warlock for our card throwing ability, which is the Eldritch Blast. So we choose Eldritch Blast for our first cantrip, then Friends for our second cantrip, since Gambit is a charming person. For our patron, we go for the ARCHFEY. This gives us the charm or frightened ability on our nearby foes. As mentioned before, Gambit has this hypnotic charm. Fey Presence could mimic that ability. For the spells, you can choose depending on your preference. I would suggest choosing the lore-friendly spells for Gambit to keep the role-playing aspect of the game. But if you do not care as I care, then pick whatever spell you like. I am a firm believer that no one should ever tell you on how you should play the game. You should play the game as you would enjoy it. As I enjoy role-playing, I role-play the game. If you enjoy making an overpowered character, then play as an overpowered character. Let's go back to choosing the spells. So for my case, I choose Arms of Haidar. Just imagine a short range but bigger boom, and Sleep, an effect of his charm. For our background, we choose Criminal, as Gambit was a member of the Thieves Guild before joining the X-Men. As for the skills, here are my suggestions. So we are going to level up Gambit up to level 5 Warlock. At level 2, for our Eldritch Invocations, let us choose Agonizing Blast and Repelling Blast to power up our card throwing ability. For the spell, we are going to choose Hex for more damage of our kinetic cards. At level 3, we are going to choose Shatter for our spell, a card throw with a bigger boom. For our pact, we are going to choose the Pack of the Blade so that Gambit can use his Charisma modifier as a bonus for his attack and damage rolls. At level 4, we are going to choose Darkness for our spell. Just say that Gambit now learns to create darkness with his kinetic energy manipulation. For our feat, we are going to choose Spell Sniper for a longer distance of our card throw and more crit chance. For the cantrip, we choose Firebolt. At level 5, we get an extra attack from our Pact of the Blades. For the spell, we choose the Counter Spell. For the Eldritch Invocation, we choose Beguiling Influence so that we could increase the Gambit's charm ability through Persuasion. Then we change Hex for Hunger of Hater and improved Darkness ability. At level 6, we now go for our first Bard class. For our cantrips, we can choose Vicious Mockery and Light. For our spell, we choose Healing Word. Gambit uses his kinetic manipulation to heal others. Thunder Wave, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, and Dissonant Whispers. We also gain Bardic Inspiration, in which we can inspire allies to add a bonus to their next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. This ability resets after a long rest. At level 7, we get our second level Bard class. We choose Feather Fall. Gambit being slowed down your kinetic energy as you fall. We also gain Song of Rest and Jack of All Trades. With Song of Rest, Gambit and his allies get revitalized as if taking a short rest. Jack of All Trades, Gambit gets to add half of his proficiency bonus to ability checks that he is not proficient in. At level 8, we now get to choose our college for our bard. For our college, we go for the College of Lore. This complements very well being cunning, smart, tricky, and manipulative. College of Lore's Cutting Words ability is Gambit's sarcastic outburst to catch his enemies off guard, debuffing their attack rolls and saving throws. For the spells, we choose Heat Metal. For the skills, we choose Sleight of Hand, Athletics, and Acrobatics. For the expertise, I would choose Sleight of Hands and Persuasion. At level 9, we get our 4th level Bard. We can choose any cantrip we want. For the spell, we choose Hold Person. For our feat, we go for the ability score increase and increase our charisma by 2, making it 18. If you want to make it to 20, we can buy Birthright in the Sorcerer's Sundries inside Baldur's Gate Lower City. At level 10, we get our 5th level Bard. We choose Hypnotic Pattern for our spell. As a Bard, Gambit also gets Font of Inspiration and improved Bardic Inspiration. Font of Inspiration allows Gambit to restore all his Bardic Inspiration through a short rest. Improved Bardic Inspiration, the bonus gained from Bardic Inspiration increases from 1d6 to 1d8. At level 11, we get our 6th level Bard. We choose Glyph Ward for our spell. For our magical secret, we choose Fireball and Crusader's Mantle. Gambit also gains Counter Charm. With Counter Charm, Gambit and any allies within 9 meters have an advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened. At level 12, we get our 7th level Bard. We choose Freedom of Movement for our spell. Gambit perfected his ability to manipulate the kinetic energy in his body so that he cannot be stunned, paralyzed, or restrained. Gameplay. If we follow this build right off the bat, Gambit can be the face of our party. Later in Act 1, he now becomes a better support with some great abilities of a bard. In combat, Gambit prefers to use his card-throwing abilities, Eldritch Blast, as he can do more damage. That is why equipping Gambit with a staff that improves his cantrip ability is encouraged if ever we follow this build. In the late game, Gambit is a good crowd controller as he has Fireball, Hunger of Hater, and Glyph of Warding at his disposal. With a +5 spell DC because of 20 points of charisma, it would be difficult for enemies to succeed in their saving throws against these spells. So that's about this Gambit build guide. See you in the next video. Ciao!